had some fabulous years in public school with some great educators and administrators. Um, and he was on the cusp, I would say, of being a full gen ed kid. And so it was but the issue that he would have is that special education would say, no, he belongs in gen ed. Gen ed would say, no, he belongs in special ed. And it was this constant tug of war that he was beginning to feel. And then he didn't want to be where he wasn't wanted. Like, kids know.
Right. Yeah, they do.
And so that was his struggle. And it seemed that so long as he got a teacher who had a good, strong special ed background in that was his gen ed teacher, that he would be successful.
Right.
But then
they
the
knew
second,
enough.
yes,
Yeah.
and then the next year he would get a teacher who didn't have the training, and then he wouldn't be successful. And then all of the supports that he had the previous year had already been faded, and so I would have to advocate to try to get them back.
And then you'd have to do it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was this seesaw every year. And then finally I just said, like, we had a negative experience. And then I just said, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm tired. I don't want.
It wears you out.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I just said, I don't want to do it anymore. And at the time he was in a year-round charter school, and he was at a 3-week break. And my husband said, what do we do? And I remember I was on the phone and we were in tears, and he was just like, what do we do? And I said, like, we homeschool. And it said, we've got 3 weeks to figure out if this is going to work.
I remember that when you hit that point.
Yes. And so that's what we did. I think I downloaded some sample curricula, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then for those 3 weeks, I tried some different things that I thought I was going to like. I had friends who had extra stuff and they wanted to get rid of some things. They cleaned out a closet, gave me some things. I mean, it was just, when I told people this is what I was doing, then people were just like, oh, I've got this and I've got this and I've got this. And it's like, okay, great. This is what we're going to use. And it went really well. And I would say with him and my daughter preschooling, or homeschool preschool, my daughter, it was much more storybook land. Like, it was calm and peaceful, and it was everything that we had wanted. Like, it thought about what homeschool would be like. They became best friends. They were bonding before then. It was beautiful, though, to watch them become best friends, because of course, being home or homeschooling, one of the biggest objections I hear is, what about that social component for our special needs kids?
Yes, that's so misunderstood.
Yes. And I think too that for homeschooling a child with special needs, you do, I think, have a tendency to become more isolated if you don't make a point of getting out there and advocating for your children in the community and with your friends, and just letting them know, like, hey, it's okay. Things are going to be a little bit different, but it's fine.
Exactly.
And it was going really well. And I remember something Temple Grandin said, and she talks about socialization for our kids on the spectrum, and finding clubs and common interests, and that's where they're going to socialize. And so my little guy, he loves stage shows, like musicals, concerts. He loves stage shows.
Wow.
And that's not really a niche for little boys in public school.
Not.
You don't find it very much. You don't find it very much anywhere. And that summer, somebody was sponsoring a special needs theater camp, and it would have conflicted with the beginning of school. And since he wasn't in school, it wasn't an issue for us. And so I put him in this camp, and he loved it. And he was center stage and thoroughly enjoyed it. And now he's in the River program here with Tuts in Houston. And it feeds right into main stage productions. He's gotten to audition.
Wow.
I mean, it's
Uh-huh.
been amazing for
Mm-hmm.